I think the public trust in this whole thing is gone. So it seems to me you got two things you can do. You're the guy in charge. You're the guy who picked Mueller. You're the guy who wrote the memo saying why he needed to fire Comey. You're the guy in charge. You could disband the Mueller special prosecutor, and you can do what we've all called for. Appoint a second special counsel to look into this, to look into Peter Strzok, Bruce Orr, everything else we've learned in the last several weeks.
Republican Congressman Jim Jordan questioning Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein, demanding a second special counsel to investigate the FBI and the Department of Justice. Jordan echoing calls yesterday from a member of President Trump's own private legal team. The cries from the far right for a second special counsel putting Rosenstein between a rock and a hard place today as he struggled to defend the integrity of his Justice Department without breaking with the president and his allies who are maligning it.
I want to assure you, Congressman, as I think the Attorney General explained, we take very seriously the concerns of 20 members of this committee or one member of this committee, but we have a responsibility to make an independent determination, and we will. Inspector General has 500 employees and a $100 million budget, and this is what he does. He investigates allegations of misconduct involving department employees. That review that he is conducting is what turned up those text messages. It will also involve interviews of those persons and of other witnesses.
Are your employees proud to work for a person who holds their high integrity in such low regard?
Congressman, my employees are, I believe, proud to work for the Department of Justice. Some of them support a particular president, some of them don't, but as long as they do their job appropriately, that's my concern.
Rosenstein also used his platform today to defend Bob Mueller and fielded questions about an FBI agent who was removed from the Mueller team after text messages he'd sent were discovered to reveal his political views about Donald Trump. Let's just say he's not a fan. Some of the texts, which were sent to the agent's girlfriend, who also worked at the FBI, read, quote, God, Trump is a loathsome human, and God, Hillary should win 100 million to 0. Joining us now from Washington, NBC's intelligence and national security reporter Ken Dilanian, Paul Butler, former federal prosecutor, now a Georgetown School of Law professor and an MSNBC legal analyst, and Ann Guerin is still with us. Ken Dilanian, let me start with you. Just break this down for us. This is a story that is covered night after night after night. And what surprised me about the testimony is that Jim Jordan is now basically acting as an organ of Sean Hannity's smear campaign against Bob Mueller and the FBI.
Well, I'm so glad, Nicole, that you played that Jim Jordan bite, because he really encapsulated what we saw all day from every Republican on that committee, except he went further and actually said, you should disband the Mueller investigation. But that was the theme of the Republicans today. They basically said, look, this thing has been so discredited, so infected by bias, we don't think it can really go forward as a functioning investigation. And a lot of people are worried that they are essentially laying the groundwork to fire Robert Mueller. Now, the good news for people who are concerned about that today is that Rod Rosenstein is the man who could fire Mueller, because he's in charge of this investigation, Jeff Sessions having recused himself. And he made it very clear he saw no reason to do that. He saw no actual impropriety here. Now, these texts that you referenced are bad. There's no doubt about it. I mean, they create an awful appearance. They have given the Republicans a club to smash this investigation with, because they show that people who used to work and no longer work on this investigation were starkly biased against President Trump. But it's also
Let me stop you. Yeah. What happened to that agent who was starkly biased against Donald Trump?
Well, he was, as soon as Robert Mueller found out about these texts last summer, this man was taken off the case, and the woman, Lisa Page, he was texting with, left soon thereafter.
So what is the lingering, I guess I'm just stuck. What is the lingering concern about Bob Mueller? He fired someone who he learned was biased against Donald Trump.
Well, you've put your finger on it. The Republicans could point to no action by the Mueller team or Mueller himself that suggested any bias. He's got 4 people have been charged criminally in this case. No one has pointed to any unfairness, any, sort of anything out of the norm of these criminal investigations. What they have pointed to is a bunch of lawyers on Bob Mueller's team who have contributed money to Democrats. And as someone pointed out today, Rachel Brand, who is the number 3 person at the Justice Department right now, is a Republican who's given to Republicans. If that's the standard, then, we're a third world dictatorship. I mean, it's possible to be to have political views in this country, express them, and also, do your job in a nonpartisan way. At least it has been until this point. Some of these Republicans are calling that into question.
Paul Butler, let me go through a special prosecutor. Bob Mueller was appointed because Jeff Sessions recused himself, and Rod Rosenstein thought that the investigation into potential collusion between the Trump campaign and Russia had to be done independent from the department run by Jeff Sessions, who recused himself because he had lied about or misspoken about his contacts with Russia. So that was a clear conflict. There is no conflict for Donald Trump's political appointees who run the Justice Department. We just named all three of them: Jeff Sessions, Rod Rosenstein, and Rachel Brand. Why does Jim Jordan think that Jeff Sessions, Rod Rosenstein, and Rachel Brand are incapable of investigating the FBI?
Because he's playing partisan politics. Can we talk about irony? So President Trump runs the Justice Department in the sense that he selected all of the high-level leaders. And he thought that that department was good enough to investigate the allegations about Russia. He and the Republicans complained about a special counsel in that situation. Here, there's been no allegation that there have been any rules broken. If there are policies of the department that are broken by people texting stuff on FBI telephones, then the Office of Professional Responsibility and the Office of Inspector General, that's their job. Hundreds of people, all they do is investigate Department of Justice employees. But for a special counsel, there's got to be a law broken, maybe like when the Attorney General of the United States does not tell the truth about his own dealings with Russia, and he's supposed to be supervising the Russia investigation. That's when you have a special counsel.